And we're live. Welcome, everyone, to the Health is True Wealth podcast. I'm joined here by Maria Manezza. I am Rico, or Riccardo Manezza. And my wife just wanted to share our experience together, and we created this podcast, and it's been a long time coming, right? And what we want to do is share our experience and talk about what we went through in our health department and trying to reach complete freedom. And also, in the looking for freedom, we went through some serious turmoil, and I'm sure everyone will experience that in the future. We can start off with what freedom means to us and our search for it. We were looking. We came to the Okanagan about 15 years ago, and we were looking for food freedom. And once we achieved food freedom, we then wanted to have financial freedom, and that meant to give up our mortgage and be debt free. And then now we're looking for money freedom and trying to build businesses where we can help people and share our experiences and be able to help out in whatever way we can from what we learned. So I want to introduce Maria. She's the author of 2 books now. The latest one just came out, what was it? About a week ago?
Maybe a month.
I just finished reading it today. Vital Fuel. And this is a great book. If you're already on the wellness journey, it's packed with experiences and some real hard truths, so to speak. But we'll get Maria to talk about the truths and how she came up with the idea. Briefly, what I want to first start is we have a little bit of a structure in this podcast. And what I want to first start with this podcast, because we named it the Search for Freedom. What does freedom for you means, Maria, in health? Let's keep it in that sense.
Yes. What does freedom mean for me in the health realm?
Yeah.
So freedom in the health realm basically means freedom from the medical system, the dental system, all the systems that do not serve to elevate our health. So what I'm saying is, obviously I'm not against emergency surgery or the need for hospitals when it's vital. But if you go to the systems that govern us, such as hospitals, I call them finishing houses, for health-related issues, they do not serve you in any way. It's actually going to create or worsen your problem, okay? There's nothing they can give you. There's nothing you can take that's going to improve your health. So freedom to me means, complete sovereignty and freedom over your own body. It's free from disease. If you're free from disease and you're free from symptoms, you're unstoppable. You get to live life to the fullest. You get to live every moment to the fullest because you don't have anything that's holding you back. And I speak from experience because I come from a place of poor health. Like, I was in poor health for many, many, many years, always dealing with a headache, always dealing with numbness in my body or some sort of pain, leg pain. And so that's not freedom. That's like being a prisoner in your own body. And so when we finally learn how to bring the body into good health and what actually true health requires, and when we heal all our health issues that doctors say are incurable, that's freedom. That's true freedom. Freedom from just being subject to the entities that govern us. That's true freedom to me.
Going back, I feel like you're very passionate about talking about the medical system, but can you share in your experience, like what it meant to you, or what experience had brought you to have that? Sort of like in normal reality, that would be a bold statement, to be staying away from the doctor. Like you don't hear it all the time, like stay away from the doctor. They don't have good advices. When society has built it as like, it's pretty much like a priest sort of way of speaking in that sense. So what does it make you feel such a passion to just try to stay away from that system? Because the why?
Because I've lived both sides of the coin. So I was the girl in pain, dealing with sickness and disease, going to doctors, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And then I am the girl now that has taken matters into her own hands, learned the information that's vital to know in order to heal myself and bring myself into good health, because nobody can do it for you. Only you can heal yourself. And I mean, you have to create the correct conditions for health. And when you are enlisting in the care of, say, a doctor, for example, or a hospital, I mean, they may mean well, but they do not provide the correct conditions for health, which is why I stated that they'll only worsen your issue, right? They can only apply drugs or, have you in an environment that's not conducive to good health as well. So that's how I can make such a bold statement, is because I've been to both sides of the coin. So I do understand what it's like to, be a regular person seeking answers for their health issues, and to have gone through the pain and hardship in order to heal myself, but to come out on the other side and to be free of those systems or the medical system, provided I continue treating myself correctly and living it within the laws of nature, eating right for my species type, provided I adhere to the natural law of life. Then, I get to live disease free. And I know that's a bold statement, but when you've read the literature and you've been through the healing process, and you understand how the body heals and what it requires for healing, it actually becomes quite simple, and all fear is removed. And that's true freedom to me as well. Just removal of all fear. I mean, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's sort of like a mindset or a mind control, maybe, that we've been projected on, like over the years. Like, go to the doctor because they have the solution for you, but you actually seeked for the solution because the doctors weren't giving you any solution.
Well, the doctors don't have the solutions, because the key to true health is you can't poison a body back to health. And all medications are poison, hands down, all of them. There's no healthy medication. I mean, by definition. And anyways, I won't get into that, but yeah. So sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought, but what were you?
No, that's for sure. That happens. I mean, just mentioning that the medical system offers you, certain products, right? But
so that's just
products are. But how did you? I want to fast forward, like to the present times where, and you mentioned it in the book. It's the natural hygiene principles, and to me, they're so simple, right? And it's like, why would they be so simple when all over the world is complicated and they have all these medical names, itis this and condylitis that, and then it's just like, how can you bring that simplicity to people out there that are listening or that will be watching in the future?
Well, I guess for me, just coming to the understanding that all disease has one root cause. So it doesn't matter what symptoms you're experiencing. The symptoms are just the body's response to not being provided with the correct conditions for health. And as time progresses, those symptoms can result in full-blown what we would refer to as diseases. But as you mentioned, all the itises, like anything that ends in itis is just inflammation. So we can have a million different words for inflammation: cystitis, bronchitis. We can have a million different words for inflammation, but the root cause of inflammation is one root cause. So it doesn't matter if it's inflammation in the throat, in the stomach, and in your bowels, wherever that inflammation is, the root cause remains. So just understanding that all disease has like the basic fundamental same root cause is so freeing. And so it uncomplicates everything, because truly all that is required from us is to just provide the body with the correct conditions for health. And then the body will naturally reverse disease and heal and correct itself in its own time. I mean, of course, there's more that goes into it, such as time and patience and understanding of how to, for example, do nothing intelligently. But yeah. So
cool. So where do you want to begin the story about you and how you came to this realization?
I could just give I'll try not to make it into a full-blown long story, but I'll give the gist of it.
We can expand in the future for sure.
Yeah. We were living in Vancouver, in the city of Vancouver. We were living, the high life. We made sure that we had the wine and the good food, and we were just, doing everything as everyone else does. But for myself, I was experiencing very, very serious health issues, but I didn't realize at the time the severity of them. Even you were as well. You just didn't really realize the severity of them as well. We were on a fast track to being very unhealthy later on in life. But so,
we always thought that, drinking wine was healthy.
Yeah, we were.
But we always said, oh, look at that bottle. It's done. Oh, that went down fast.
But people cherry pick, right? It's like there's so much information. With coffee, you can find information that it's good.
Yeah.
You can find information that it's bad. With wine, you can find information that's healthy. You can find information that's unhealthy. So people have.
Even with bacon.
Yeah. So people have the ability to just cherry pick what suits them to make them feel good. And that's what we did. We grasped onto the fact that wine had antioxidants and it was healthy, and so we would make it our drink of choice.
The night.
Yeah. But
paired it with a nice steak or a good pasta or plate. Yeah. And then but then how do we came up with the decision of let's take it all out?
Well,
and, I want to know in your viewpoint. I know my viewpoint, but
well, basically it was a series of events that led to that point. But we were in Vancouver. We had decided, after gardening and growing our own food, that it was time to expand upon that. And so we decided we wanted to move to rural area and farm or grow food. And so that's what we did. We just went for it. And so when we got to the farm, that's where our eyes were definitely opened to the fact that, farming isn't even sustainable. Like everyone says, oh, it's such a sustainable operation. Well, what do your cows eat in the winter when the grass isn't growing? It's the same thing. People say, well, what do you do in the winter when there's no fruit? And it's like, well, luckily enough, we live in the age of technology. where, we're living in hostile climates to human health, with these colder climates. But luckily enough, we have shipping and we have these systems at large that we can utilize for now. I mean, if they weren't in place, then we'd make, other plans. But for now, you can. And that's the same with the cows. I mean, there's no grass in the winter. It's all snow. What are they eating? Well, they're eating dried, processed grass that you get shipped in from other places or that you had stored. And yeah.
Yeah, you just fast forward a little bit there onto our revelations.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about how unsustainable farming is. So
it's like, like when I saw it, like we had this amazing garden and we had a vision that, oh wow, like what if we can replicate it to a massive scale and actually, kind of generate all the food that we need and start a farm. Just at first was like a hobby farm, but because your dad gave us that seed packet, then it was like, maybe we can start growing seeds and collecting them. And
the survival seed bank.
The survival
more
seed
than a
bank.
Seed packet.
Yeah.
This
yeah,
is
it was
a
more
seed bank containing all the heirloom varieties of seeds that do well.
I know, that was a great upsell.
Yeah.
And so it was planting those seeds in the backyard of our house in Main Street there that would just like give us the confidence, I think, to take the major leap to be like, hey, maybe we can do this at a scale, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like with this podcast, I kind of want to give a little bit of my perspective and then your perspective, because I know your audience is mainly women, I would say, probably. Or
actually not. There's quite a few, maybe I would say a little bit more.
What's the percentage, do you think?
I would think 60% women, 40% men.
Yeah. So
if I had to guess,
that's what I kind of want to help out and create a little bit of equity into it by putting, your point of view of what made the decision, because for men it's different. Like in society, we have this picture about being the provider and you guys are the caretakers and the family raising, the nest making, right? And we're the nest creating, right? After you guys in the instruction. But in that sense, like, what was your decision? It's like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go and search, because at that time we were searching for like the best foods. Like we were into organic foods, and obviously we were picking the bacon from like the crazy butcher shop that was grass raised and all the perfect labels, right? They were there at the time. And again, we thought we were healthy, right? Like we had that, our mind was okay with that because we had that belief, right? And then like you already a little bit mentioned it, that when we came to the farm, it's like, oh wow, we didn't realize this. Oh wow. And I mean, there's lots of lessons, obviously more than we can talk about in this podcast, but I just want to go back because this is just the beginning of this natural sort of talking about our story. So I want to bring it back to what made you decide. Like, was it a health issue? Was it a search for more, a search for meaning, a search for purpose? What was it that, okay, yeah, I'm good to go. Like you trusted me and we went. What was the reason?
Well, it was partly that I was in poor health and impulsive. I didn't think things through back then anyways. So it was partly just the vision of just, I liked change. I liked to do different things. And so I was willing to just do whatever I felt like doing in the moment. Partly that, and partly because deep down inside, I mean, I was suffering and I love to grow plants. I mean, my mandate now in life is to just plant trees and to grow food and to replenish the earth. So that was within me without me realizing it at that time. So, I mean, and I've always loved nature, and I have never really been that fond of the city, I suppose. So yeah, I think it was a combination of just wanting to do something different and also the innate intelligence within me that I wasn't aware of yet that would eventually be, growing food and bringing health back, restoring health to myself, hopefully to anybody around me that is interested. So, but yeah, and just to new beginnings,
New beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings to the name of our seed company. When we came up with the name in one of our nightly sessions.
Susan Seeds.
Susan Seeds, yeah. And we created this company just because of that. We were trying to find a meaning, a purpose. We're there. We never talked about this, and obviously we're bringing it out here raw, live. So there's no turning back. But were there any fears when you took the leap and you said, okay, I'm moving? Because for people that don't know, moving to the Okanagan from Vancouver is about a 5-hour drive. So it's not a quick next door neighborhood sort of move, but
No.
It is quite the drive, and we did experience a few incidents along the way. But were there any doubts, any fears, or just because you had this energy that
it's really hard to put
or you
myself
wanted the
back
change?
there? But I mean, I'd say the only doubts and fears that probably came in back then were just leaving, my family, my sisters and my friends. But besides that, I mean, there was nothing holding me back. Anyways, you?
No, nothing back. I mean, if there was, we probably wouldn't have done it, right? Like, I mean, I had the excitement of, raising the chickens and going back to the memories when I was picking the eggs from underneath the chickens that were sitting on them. Again, other truths are to come.
And we
about this
definitely
show,
didn't talk about like our visions for this farm. We definitely had different visions, but we still moved forward. We didn't really talk about it. So, but we just knew we were going to get back to nature.
Yeah. So you were, just to summarize it a little bit, you were looking for a change because the city was not a natural environment. And it sounds like you subconsciously knew that this was going to be the right decision because having no fear, especially at that age, like it seemed like the right thing to do. Because I mean, if we can look back, that's a pretty big decision, right? To take away from family, friends, and acquaintances, and our place too. We built something over in our garden as well, right? And so just taking off and just subconsciously having the feeling that this is it, right? This is the right decision. Can you fast forward just a little bit and just try to recall the first time you stepped on the farm? What feeling did you get?
Just excitement and, to have 7 acres of land before you as your canvas. It's like, wow. I mean, it was an old rundown type house, not much to speak of. In fact, I think the addition was like an old mobile home or something. But just, excitement and new beginnings. So it's exciting to get to start out fresh, right?
And what plans did you have for it? What vision did you have?
I was envisioning gardens because my grandmother she was a avid gardener. She had beautiful like cherry trees, and they had hazelnut trees, and this was in Langley, BC, so it's on the Lower Mainland still, but she had amazing raspberry bushes. I remember going there as a kid, or the crop of peas she had could feed like an army. She just had ponds and, fish that they just for decoration, grapes draping over the pergolas, if that's what they're called. And just, so I envisioned, just, I guess, more like a food forest. I wasn't thinking along the lines of fruit so much just yet. I mean, fruit was a large part of it, but just gardens, lots of gardens, maybe some chickens. I wasn't picturing, much else beyond that. Greenhouses, just, I wasn't picturing, cows and goats and.
Oh, you're fast forwarding there a little bit.
Well, I'm just saying what was in my vision and what wasn't. I mean, it was pretty simple. My vision.
Yeah, nice little garden, and obviously because we started the seed company, we would have to produce seeds and package them and send them all over the world.
The seed company was a large part of it, just to make a living and to spread and to keep the healthy seeds alive, to keep them going.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about what's the best part about these seeds. Why did we go and get heirloom seeds and not just common seeds?
Well, heirloom varieties are, varieties that have been with us throughout the times, and they haven't been cross-pollinated. They're hardy, they're strong varieties, and so we just wanted to preserve that. Back then, we believed that GMO seeds could potentially take over the world, and so we wanted to preserve the integrity of the amazing vegetation that we have available on planet Earth here. So,
Yeah, no, it's a great aspirational. We had when you're young and there is not much that you can have as a doubt, right? Like you don't have an experience. So we had a vision of like prosperity and abundance and struggle free, right? And that was about the excitement about going to the farm and starting off fresh, and like just even picking the peas from the garden and then picking them from a real farm was a different feeling, wasn't it? Like instead of the garden, like we're picking, like we built the trellises there and the greenhouse, how it started producing, and building the greenhouse.
Yeah, it was amazing. All of it was just such an amazing experience.
Yeah. So in that, it was rewarding, right? And we were searching for good health. Where are we?
I mean, I wanted to know where all our food came from. So whether we did it or whether we got it from a farm down the street, that was our goal, our combined goal. Anyways, we were hoping to have, the healthiest food possible. So all homegrown and
we were searching, like what we mentioned at the beginning of the show. We were searching for food freedom, right?
Food freedom from the system, not having to spend an arm and a leg just to pick up a meal at the grocery store, and not having to rely on the grocery store, because we wanted to become more self-reliant. And that was one of the major steps towards getting there.
So like for myself, when I talk about food freedom, it's not that I wanted to take away the process of the farmer growing it and then bringing it to the shop retailer or the wholesalers in some places, and then the wholesaler would bring it to the retailer, and then the retailer would bring it to the customer. So why don't we cut out the middleman and go straight to the farmer, or actually become a farmer ourselves? when we were looking at the statistics, like 95% of the people about 50, 60 years ago were actually farmers, and we all traded within the system on how to grow your own food and exchange it and trade. Hey, you're growing peas, why don't we trade for some squashes or zucchinis, right? And having that freedom in mind would give us a better sense where our food came from, like where my bacon came from, where our eggs come from, and how are they made. Like we have pictures when we go to the grocery store. Oh, look, it's on a shelf. Wow, cool. You just pick it, and there's no like real background. So what are your first, what I want to know, and I never asked you this by the way, so it's again slide, but what are your first revelations that you had? Like, okay, we started the greenhouse, we built the greenhouse that spring when we first came here, but what are your first revelations that you had on the farm? Like, I mean, you talked about it in the other book, the first one, Heal Thyself, that you had some. But what, like, if you go back and imagine, oh, wow, I didn't know it was taking this long, or I don't want to, get your thoughts going there, but what came out first when I asked you that question?
Just how difficult it was, and what everything entailed in order to have all the food that you consume come from your farm. So, I mean, it's a huge undertaking just to bring raw milk into your house. It's a huge undertaking even just to bring eggs into your house, in a sense. I mean, I know it's quite simple in the sense that you get chickens and they just eat your scraps or whatever you feed them, and you collect their eggs, but you're tied to the farm. You're not going anywhere. This is your life now. You're not just upping and leaving for a week if you feel like it. Just the commitment, I suppose, was one of the biggest eye openers. You are married to your land if you want to farm in the way that, in order to eat the conventional foods that people eat today, or conventional, I mean, in order to eat the standard foods that people eat today, you were tied to that, right? So that was a huge eye opener. How difficult it was, how much sweat, blood, and tears, for lack of a better term, how much labor goes into just eating. The biggest revelation was just how difficult it was just to eat. If you wanted to eat well, I suppose. That was just like, whoa, it requires a lot of energy to obtain foods that are just going to drain your energy anyways. We can get into that anyways, but
Soon
Yeah.
enough.
Well,
We'll talk about the books and how we came. No, I just wanted to know. It's curious because like we live a life and then we are just so busy doing stuff, but we never sit back and just be like, oh wow, that the lesson that I was meant to have to come on the farm. And like what I said, I want to emphasize the fact that we were looking for food freedom. So and I'm glad you were on the same page, because if we weren't looking for the same thing,
yeah.
we probably would have had our struggles in our beginning of our marriage.
Well,
but
you have to keep in mind too, I had read a book back in Vancouver titled Eat Right for Your Blood Type.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
So I was actually vegetarian when we moved to the farm, which is why my vision was a little bit different than what you had envisioned, right? Because
obviously the book was saying I was O positive.
Yeah, the book said that you were the true meat eater, and I suppose if I had believed what that book had put out, then yeah. So
Yeah.
so here we are with a true vegetarian and a true meat
And
eater.
a true meat eater, meat at the farm.
So that's pretty
And
compatible.
and
I'm
our,
just kidding.
and our vision, and like for me, like the revelation, I mean, it was rewarding to grow everything that you grew, but at the same time, it's like you said, holy, I never thought it was gonna be
Well,
this much work or this much foresight too. Like when we bought those 100 trees, where are they?
100
100.
conifers.
No, yeah, like
We bought conifers. Yeah, they don't
what are they
produce
called?
fruits.
The windbreakers.
Yeah.
Cedars.
We were buying the cedars,
Yeah,
which
cedar
we didn't
trees.
research. I mean, they require an astronomical amount of water to get established,
But you
and
don't get
they're
in
not
the
right
Okanagan.
for the climate.
No,
But
still, we were under the belief, right? Like, this is our wind breaking. This is what we need our farm. It's got a lot of wind, and we put them out there. And we put all that work, and then through that failure, man, we're never gonna forget that lesson. It's like,
no,
because we put in the work. And then I want to jump back in though towards when you said we were looking for food freedom. I mean, this podcast is about freedom, but then we found sort of like I don't want to call it a jail but that is the opposite of
we
freedom,
found
where we found
we're
ourselves
in
tied,
prison.
imprisoned in our own sort of environment,
Vicious
sort
cycle
of
in
farm,
a sense. It's like,
right? So it's like, oh wow, is there a balance here? And then just to give a teaser for the next one, when you're looking for freedom, you're always looking in the eyes of when you have the problem, right? Like, you have a problem and then you want to get away from that problem, but then when you get away from that problem, it seems like another problem faces us, right? But what has brought us here is all those problems piled up together, right? And it's always been the search for the freedom, because for you it sounds like it didn't make sense to go and look for this food freedom and have everything from our table, like coming from the farm and what we grew it, or we husbandry, or we just had the vision to have it there, and then all of a sudden to realize, wow, we're never getting away, we're never getting a holiday.
well, that's if you choose. I mean, we all have choices in life, and that's if you choose to eat a standard diet. Then yes, you're gonna. If you want all the standard foods, but grass fed and farm raised and all this, then yeah, you're gonna be tied to your land. But if you know what species you are and what foods actually constitute a healthy diet for humans, it's not such a drain on your energy, because the foods that keep humans in optimal health, once established, produce year after year without much maintenance. But that's another
another episodes. I mean, when it comes to health and we started with health freedom, we want to make it simple, right? Not complicated as the system is, and how every aspects of everybody wants it to be. Because if it was simple, everybody could do it, right? And
it would be simple if everyone was doing it.
Yeah,
but they're not.
And that's how we got into looking for our financial freedom. That we can fast forward a little bit, and we can fast forward in between, because then it just builds up on future podcasts and future live questions. But let's fast forward to when we discovered, like how the banking system works.
Well, I mean,
because that's another, sort of like freedom impeding system that it's being built over hundreds of years, or that's as long as we know it, right?
Yeah, and we learned that the banking system only serves to keep us down. You can't flourish in that system, especially when they're the ones printing the money and devaluing our hard labor or our everything that we work for. But not being in optimal health when you learn about the systems that govern us and when you learn the truth about the man behind the curtain and these sort of things, it can be quite taxing. It can be quite stressful. So, I mean, it all ties in together, because when we did finally reach true health within our body, we were able to handle these truths a lot more readily. They were, the stresses don't penetrate and destroy you as they do with so many people that learn these truths. They can be quite crippling in the mind, because it's like you feel helpless against such a large system governing our everyday lives. So yeah, these are major rabbit holes that we could go down. There's no easy
Oh yeah, I mean,
way of explaining it.
I do want to explore those rabbit holes because they're important and factual, that everybody should know, and then it's their choice to uh, either follow up or follow in, and determine if that's the path they want to go, right? And
Well,
because there's no easy path out there.
yeah, but
it's
it
like
goes
climbing
back
a
to
mountain.
health. If the human population were in good health, they'd be making more sound decisions. But because we're as a whole in such poor health, we're not making very good decisions collectively. We're not figuring things out for ourselves. We're not taking matters into our own hands. We're not becoming more self-reliant. We're just letting all these systems take over and just silo us into certain ways of living. So
it's our response.
Yeah.
And
that it all stems back to a root cause.
Well, that's my idea of this podcast, where everything is interrelated, but in reality, the true wealth is health.
Yes.
Right? So
first and foremost,
but every other system can be broken down and related to health, and then can also be perceived in a different light, like what you're saying, is if you have true health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we got about 18 minutes, but in true health now, that you have written two books now.
2 books, yeah.
And you
actually 3. I co-authored a book.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then you are also have a big following of people that want to take matters in their hand, and this is now your tribe, and to say what is, like, over the years you've learned, like, we've been at it 10 years vegan or more.
No, 11 plus years 11 now, plus coming up on 12 in April.
Time flies. Yeah.
12 since we haven't eaten any animal products whatsoever.
And then, and so, and it's still a learning process, wouldn't you say? Like,
yeah, but the basics remain, I mean, unchanged. Once you know, and you can never be misled again. And the basics, I mean, sure, you're always learning here and there about, certain things, but when it comes to health, once you learn the truth about health and our natural human diet and what the human body requires for health and how to get there, none of that changes. I mean, it's been the same since humans first came to the earth. I don't claim to know how that happened, but however humans began populating the earth. I mean, I'm sure there's something to the Garden of Eden, but anyways, yeah.
So what I just want to let the audience know how you came about. Okay, no, just give the definition of what is true health, right, to you.
What is true health? True health is free from pain and having the ability to live in the moment at every given time. You'll know you reached a level of health within your body when every single thing you do in life serves to benefit you. I mean, you could be sweeping the floor and that's of a benefit. That's when you've reached true health, because if you feel good body and mind, it's like night and day. I mean, I've been, like I said, to both sides of the coin, so I know what it feels like to feel in pain. And when you're in pain, that pain prevents you from living in the moment, it's always there. It's always nagging at you. It's always there pulling you back. It's always taking you away from key moments in your life. So true health is just being free from pain, but it's also more than that, because it builds year after year after year. Like, it just gets better and better, but that's because your body becomes cleaner and cleaner. But anyways, that's a long-winded definition. So true health is true wealth, though, because once you've achieved that, you're unstoppable. I mean, you're unstoppable in the sense that if, like, you can enjoy, just the little things in life that used to be considered chores. If you can actually, find enjoyment in everything you do, and if everything you're doing is serving you in some way, because I mean, just movement serves you in some way, then you win. That's true health. So
it seems like I keep circling back, but I guess it's, again, freedom, freedom from pain. Not the main core, but if you are in pain and you're searching for a better state and not a disease state, then it seems like true health is being away from this pain, right? And so, like what you said, you had certain symptoms and certain painful moments that made you realize and search for more.
Oh, I had to hit rock bottom.
Were you searching while in pain, or were you searching when you were off the pain and just not wanting to be in that state again?
Well, first of all, I'll just say, and I'll come back to that in 2 seconds, but because I wanted to just say true health is also the freedom from fear. When all fear is removed,
that's a good one.
You're so free. I mean, I feel so fearless in all aspects of life now. It's just, that's true freedom too. But going back to what you...
Well, I kind of like where you're taking this, because again, it goes with this podcast about freedom.
Well,
and freedom from fear. I mean, that's a fantastic revelation, because that can mean different things, because we have different fears.
Yeah.
And
true. But I mean, the fundamental fears of growing old, fear of disease, fear of these types of fears really take over, people's minds and their lives when they're not in good health, and fear can cripple you. It causes a lot of stress. But when all fear is removed, you just feel so light and free. And I guess I've been living in fear from an early age, and that goes back into the question you asked: was I always in pain when I came across these revelations? Or anyways, I've been in pain since the age of 6, or I was in pain, and pain becomes your identity.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes,
you grow old with it.
Yeah, it becomes who you are. It's always with you. It's something that doesn't go away until you learn the truth, or unless you're going to suppress it with meds, it'll go away temporarily. But
medication or other means of numbing the body.
Yeah.
But again, it's a numbing process, right? It's so is drinking, right? And all those are just tools to numb the pain, suppress the pain, right? And not dealing with it, but or finding a solution.
Just drives it deeper into the body, and eventually you're going to have to deal with it, whether it's going to be dealing with it at the end of your life or halfway through your life. You're eventually going to have to deal with it. So,
yeah. So in a sense, it comes up with Albert Einstein. Maybe he made this quote, or maybe he didn't. But you can't
Could you
find the solution to the problem with the same mindset you created the problem, or you came about to the problem, right? So
Correct. Yeah, you
it's
have
like,
to kind of take a step back, remove yourself from the situation.
yeah,
You can't have somebody, you can't put a drug addict exactly back into the same environment that they were doing the drugs in and expect them to change.
or surround them with people that have done it and have the same cravings
Mm-hmm.
and expect to change. And so it feels like subconsciously maybe that's why we went to the farm, just because we thought we were in good health, but our subconscious thought, maybe it's a different story, right? Like maybe we should change more. We wanted more purpose and everything like that. And
Well, I never really thought I was in good health. I just thought I was in average health and that it was
it was
normal
part
to
of your
have
life.
headaches. It
Yeah.
was normal to have a bit of pain in your body by the age of 30, 35. I just thought that was all normal.
Because that was part of the aging process.
Well, just part of like being a human. I mean, every human I know has pain. I mean, they all suffer with headaches or pain in their body. It's no
Yeah.
big deal, right? You just
Yeah.
take some Tylenol or Advil or drink some wine and you're good.
Yeah, and then that's I don't know if anybody out there kind of grasped or had similar experiences with us in the same way. You know, like we grow so used to it, and we try to not think about it too either. You know, like if you're in pain or if you're overweight. You know, I had problems being overweight all of my life, and trying to fix it with exercise and keep going to the gym, and then made it my church kind of thing, and just trying to figure out why I would be eating so much too.
But we all know, like, exercise is only part of the equation, and if your diet is incorrect, exercise is going to be of little benefit, and if your diet is correct, then exercise will be of maximum benefit. You cannot outrun a bad diet.
Yeah, and that's going to be definitely one of our podcasts. I want to do one about exercise and talk more about it, because there's so much science in behind it too, that it's pretty easy to show the truth about that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go again with the statement. So true health is about freedom. And then, when did you know that you have reached true health?
Well, it's not that there was any defining moment where I knew that I reached true health. Like, it wasn't like I woke up and I'm like, I'm healthy. Because, I mean, symptoms that you've been dealing with for many, many years, oftentimes, you know, I would eventually realize that I no longer suffered with those symptoms, but I don't know when they went away, because
Right?
it's such a gradual experience.
Oh.
It's such a gradual process of restoring health
Yeah.
to your body, and it's still ongoing. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfectly healthy. How can you be living in an unhealthy environment as well, and being surrounded by people that are struggling with their health? It's difficult, but so there's no defining moment where I was like, I'm healthy, but I do know that I've now, over the years, after a lot of trial and error as well, going through a lot of things, you know, a lot of trial and error, I do know that I've reached a certain state of health within my body where it's only getting better and better. Like I've turned that tipping point. And so, like, every single thing I ingest, every single thing I do, it only serves it serves me rather than burdens my body. So I guess, I mean, if I had to say when, it was probably more like 5 years in, you know, like I was doing a lot of incorrect practices in the beginning, you know, stressing my body out, doing these juice cleanses, doing these fasting, and then going back to eating, you know, foods that weren't as healthy. A lot of, you know, I tried dry fasting. Like, I tried a lot of things that actually do not restore health to the body. They actually burden the body more. So there was a lot of trial and error in the beginning, but I'd say about 5 years in, when I finally got a couple key fundamental pieces that really helped me to elevate my health, then I started really feeling good. And once the headaches went away, once the headaches were gone, that's when I knew that I reached, a higher level of health. Once I was like, okay, wow, I no longer experience headaches because I've restored hydration to my body, and I've removed, my body's eliminated enough waste that it doesn't come into circulation and just floor me anymore. So about 5 years in on our almost 12-year journey now, I guess.
Yeah. And reading your last book, there were, you call them myths about, the juice cleansing and the fasting and
or the truther traps,
all the truther traps and
for health.
And in the health department, I mean, obviously, even the supplements and all this stuff, because again, that doesn't give you true freedom, because even if, you're told, hey, take one of the things you were saying was B12, right? Like that's the biggest one. And take this for B12 or take that. But then it's actually inside the body. And there is studies that say it's actually a bacteria. And it's like, if you have a prosper inner colon, you have the bacteria and it's produced naturally, just like any other animal. Any other animal doesn't go, oh, I'm B12 deficient. That's probably why I'm low in energy, right?
No, and B12, I mean, it's such a convoluted topic, but I mean, meat eaters are deficient in B12
just as much.
They just like to focus on the vegans being deficient because it's a marketing strategy, but really, like the B12 issue, if you're eating like certain foods that kill off your B12, your beneficial bacteria, then you'll be B12 deficient, and pretty much everybody eats the foods or the herbs that kill off, the body's B12. Meat eaters, vegans, vegetarians, everyone eats them. I won't go into what they are yet. Stay tuned. Just kidding.
So yeah, we just gave a lot of different topics here of what we're going to talk about in this podcast and who we want to reach. I mean, it's you follow as you wish. And if something connects with you, more than willing, you're more than welcome to listen to us and go through our journey on how we came here, and how we just realized that from the topic of freedom is to get true freedom, you have to free your mind. And to free your mind, you have to free your body from all the subjectiveness that we put onto it, the food and the burdens of the thoughts of other people and all that stuff, because we went also on a solitarian journey where we had to experience ourselves, right, in a sense. And we wish, the whole point of this podcast is wish to reach out people and in similar situation or in mid journey, in whatever journey they are, so that they can have a little bit of support and finding out, hey, look, they did it, and it's possible. It's just like running the quarter mile under a minute, right? It's like, hey, that guy did it. So if we can speed up the process with what we learned, and then obviously you have a lot of experiences with other people and helping people, giving them advice and giving them guidance and that support, right? Like, because you offer a support group, right? And
yeah, we have a natural diet support group where people join at the first of each month. We have a lot of members in there that have been there for years now. And then we have a lot of new members every month. And we just walk people through day by day, step by step, the natural human diet, how to incorporate it, and what that all entails, and how people can just incorporate it into their own life for health and healing purposes. And they get to choose how far they want to take it. Obviously, not everybody is going to go right back to the basics. Some people like to just, kind of do it halfway, but at least they receive symptom relief and improved health regardless. So we have that natural diet support group. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you for watching. If you're watching it live now, or if you're watching it in the future from now, stay tuned. Every week we're gonna come together and share our experiences, and we're gonna try to keep it focused on one topic at a time.
And we promise we'll have better lighting next time.
And the lighting, yeah, if you're watching on video, for sure. It's a work in progress. It's our first one, so we are on other podcasts as well, and we're gonna try to bring our experiences to give you freedom and what we feel. I mean, obviously, we're not the best example. There's probably better examples out there, but we're gonna be sharing it with the people that can actually learn from it. And so, having said that, Maria, do you have anything else that you would like to add to the audience today?
Just that if you're looking to improve all aspects of your life, because I do believe it starts with health, the health with your health. Achieving health is more about what we eliminate than what we add. So we're in this culture where we're bombarded with products and supplements and all these things, and they're continually trying to get us to add things.
More.
That's just more burden to the body. So I would say just that if you are trying to achieve optimal health or a higher level of health for yourself, it's more about what we eliminate than what we add. So just, slowly remove the heaviest digestive burdens, and over time you will notice a difference. And drink a lot of water. That's about it.
Okay, having said that, thank you again, and we'll see you next week. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.